No, you're good. You're
Okay.
good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put something behind me so that way it's nicer. But
No, you have the I see the one that's glowy on your.
yeah, I know. I just yeah, but I could make it better. Anyway, hey Casey, are we recording?
Oh, always recording, man. You know how it is.
God, dang, it's been forever, bro. What is it? Circa 2021?
2021. Life moved fast, really fast, and I think we just not lost track, but we focused on our one thing, and I think
So let's give a little recap for all the new listeners. I know we're gonna have like 2 listeners, but like just so everyone was aware, Chef Casey and I, we started a podcast back in after COVID era. And what's really cool is this is a chef driven podcast. We're really in this mother effer. We actually grind. And now full circle moment. I mean, we were talking about these restaurants and the ramen shop, and like now full circle, Casey's doing his thing. He got the ramen shop in Jersey. I'm over here in Montana. I fully own and operate 2 restaurants called Ember and Grano. And it's really cool. I'm in the process of full ownership, which is great. But it's been a stretch, man. It's been like 2 years in the making, and I can't tell anybody how grateful I am and how I just have an overwhelming amount of gratitude for social media, and also my friendship with Casey. And I feel like it's super important that we started this podcast. I think we should see it through. And look at him with the deli cup, bro. He's a chef, bro. He got the deli cup.
I got too many deli cups.
He got the deli cup, bro.
I have like 4 deli cups in my vicinity.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because I was having this conversation the other day, but like just so everyone knows, Casey's in New Jersey, I am over here in Montana, and we are both chefs. We got big Oh, okay, we're good. We're back. We got big resumes. We've been we ran and operated our own kitchens, and now we're in the ownership realm, or what I like to call the restaurateur realm. Yeah. And I think just jumping right in. I mean, Casey, let's get right into the nuts and bolts. I mean, going from being a chef, like in managing a kitchen, to clear to ownership is a big step, and it is absolutely gut wrenching. And there's just so many things that I want to talk about, and that I think we could help other chefs, with. And one of them is like, they don't teach you how to start a business, or start an LLC, or work on accounts payable, or business credit, or and it's just like, insurance, workman's comp, things like that, taxes, what kind of lease you got? Are you buying the real estate? Like, brother, kitchen
taxes
equipment, this, that, maintenance. Like, well, you're in Jersey, bro. Like, taxes have to be like,
it's insane.
And yeah. And it's like, I think the thing is like, I think the direction of this podcast is going to be like dedicated and solely for, anybody who's in the restaurant business, or like anybody who's curious, like that wants to follow along with our journeys. But like, man, we have so much fun things to say and talk about. And, it's just awesome to like be back into the podcast realm. But dude, let's talk about the ramen. I mean, now you're in so just so everyone knows, Casey's ramen is top notch, bro. Like I've seen it since day one, big dog. I've seen it since you were the CDC at that once. You know what I'm saying? The CDC at that one spot, all the research and development that you've done, to really optimize your broth. Like, from doing the little ghost kitchen thing to having some people sit down. Like, I think the biggest thing that is so important to me is like, because I know how hard it is. Yeah. And not a lot of people can relate. And if you could just share your little experience on how you started, like where you're at now, and like what you see for the future,
Give you a little cliff notes. So I was, it's 24 years now, Brandon, since I've gone on fully professional, I should say. But I was, for the longest time, just an exec, like corporate stuff, because first of all, it pays the bills. Corporate, for me, phenomenal, because man, like the paychecks just keep coming. You have benefits, you had 401k, like I'm known from like back then. So I did that for the most part. And then I started my own ramen shop, or I should say, I've been having my ramen shop. I just never sold it, essentially. So not till after the pandemic, I had a little stunt in this other fine dining institution. They were closed Monday, Tuesday. I did the ramen thing there on the Monday. And then now fast forward, I have my own little ghost kitchen that I still do like fine dining stuff on the weekends ish, like 4-course menu, 5-course menu. Ramen inspired still, because obviously I serve noodles. Um, but just from I think the biggest step from all of this is just like you have to say yes. I think that's like the hardest part of it. It's just like, do I go or I don't go? So I said yes. So now we're full on tilt. But man, I you just didn't. I had no idea. I mean, I think I was texting you a little bit from back then, and then it was just like there's taxes, there's other things that you gotta into consideration than your rent. Is it bi-monthly, or what is workman's comp? What is my stuff for the state? So a lot of things going on, but so many articles have been published now. So I think they know me in New Jersey now for the ramen guy. So that's where we're at.
That's awesome, man. It's like, for me where I'm at, like, it's like, I think the biggest thing for me, it's funny because, when we were last talking, like I was doing the kind of the private thing, and you're right, man. It was like I had a cushy job, man. Like it was good, but it was just like I wasn't fulfilled, man. It's like now, I'm making a fraction of the cost, but I'm so much more happier. I'm just so much more fulfilled. Like what I've been able to build at Ember and Grano and the socials, and the actual building of the restaurants, like it shows a lot, man. It's just like for me, I want nothing more than to see them flourish. But I think what I want to talk about is the actual struggle with restaurants too. There are so many challenges, man, and it's just like I tell everybody, man, you want to be an entrepreneur, you better be ready to wake up and get kicked in the nuts every single day. Like owning and operating a restaurant is much different than being the chef. Correct. And I think a lot of people need to understand this. It's crazy. Like I tell people all the time, it's like I almost get every week I get a distillation of the hardest problems to solve, like on a daily basis. And I got to be honest, I don't like having that seat sometimes. Like sometimes, like I just want to make videos and really just promote the restaurants, and not have to make these super crucial decisions that like completely affect the business. And like good example, like right now we're going through our slow time. We're going through our slow time right now, and it's like it's gut wrenching, man. We don't have the sales to like justify anything, but I know in like 2 months we're going to be booming.
They're going to be popping,
and it's like for me, having like the Italian restaurant. So there's two restaurants. There's Ember and there's Grano. And Grano, the Italian restaurant, is, I mean, that place is packed every night. Casey, we have to turn people away because we can't serve everybody, and it's like, it's unfortunate because, there's only like 47 seats. So it's not like, well, we got 52 ish, but it's just hard. We don't have enough staff for a full service restaurant to be able to sort it all out. But it's just funny because like, it's just so crazy how in this little small town, we're able to have two very competitive restaurants. And, it's just, it's awesome, but it's also gut wrenching too.
And I'm going to ask the one question that all of our colleagues have asked me, because they couldn't get a hold of you specifically. They're like, why Montana? Why did you go out? I think
I got you. Why did I go to Montana?
Why did you go to Montana? It was the most asked question.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's crazy. I get that comment all the time. You're not the first one, not the last one. But just to kind of summarize, as a chef, I've worked in okay, good. As a chef, I've worked in California, New York, DC, Virginia, Las Vegas, Chicago, Miami, West Palm Beach. Everywhere. And, I could easily open a restaurant in California, right? But then I would be a spitting image of the chefs I worked for in California: Wolfgang Puck, Charlie Palmer, Joshua Skeens, just to name a few. And it's like, I already knew where to get all the good stuff and all of the best product from working at the Michelin star restaurants there in Los Angeles and San Francisco. And basically what I wanted to do after COVID, I was like, man, I want to do something crazy, and I want to take a super risk, like, because I'm not getting any younger. Casey, I turned 40 this year. And so
I know, same,
for
dude.
me, I made
it hurts.
Yeah. I made a decision. I said, listen. And so I made a decision to just take all the risk and really focus on creating the next French Laundry here in Montana. Did you hear that? I want to focus on making the next French Laundry in Montana. So like
Hey.
Montana is not known for a state to be like, food driven, but I really wanted to put the Bitterroot on the map. And there's no chefs that represent this state. And it's just super important to me. There's so much beautiful product here. I hate to say this, and I know some people won't agree, but I'm so close to the Pacific Northwest. Like where I'm at is considered Pacific Northwest. So we get all the same products, like I'm so close to Idaho and like that corner, Seattle. Like, and I tell people I can get fresher fish here in Montana compared to San Francisco. It's just a shorter distance, from Seattle to here. And, one of the things that I truly love is like, I don't want anybody, I want to build my legacy, and I don't want anybody to tell me, oh yeah, he worked for Wolfgang Puck. Nah, I don't want that. I want to be like, I want to build my own. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I want a full-on restaurant group. I don't just want one restaurant. I want, I'm thinking about the end goal in mind. I want a vertically integrated restaurant group, and it starts here. And like what a lot of people don't understand is like, building a restaurant is absolutely CapEx heavy. It takes so much money and so much time. It's almost not worth it unless you absolutely love it. And, this hasn't been public information, but I mean, we totally decided to scrap the butcher shop project just because of how much it costs. I mean, the sheer velocity of how much CapEx to how much return is in the project. Yeah. The biggest thing is like the biggest challenge is like, Ember's rounding its first year. It'll be a 1-year anniversary in March. And, we have such a good trajectory for the next 12 months, but it's like, man, the first year in business, you don't know you just fly by seat of your pants and pray to God that everything works out. But in all honesty, it's like, with Grano, we set it up right. Like we set up the leadership team right. We set up everything right. So it's the structures in place, and like that place pumps. And it's like, Grano is like the family tavern restaurant, and then Ember is the special occasion fine dining restaurant. It's really unique to see them both come to fruition. But in this little small town of Hamilton, everybody thinks Grano's the fine dining restaurant when it's really not.
I mean, you'll cater to wherever your audience is. So like that's the other thing that I didn't understand when I was releasing my bowls. I have all these ideas, obviously, and all the training and whatnot, but like you'll never know what people really want. So it took me till this year, literally. I said, okay, this will get at this time, or I can use this protein specifically for this set, like what we're happening right now. Like for Super Bowl, bro, everybody wants chicken wings. Literally, everybody wants chicken wings. But like, I don't serve chicken wings. I had a lot of calls, but like, yo, are you doing like a special, like a bourbon or a chicken wing special? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm also dead on Super Bowl. So there's a lot to consider. I didn't, you have no idea unless you really just go for it and take notes.
Yeah. And like, here's the thing. You didn't know you were dead until the first time you went through a Sunday, and you're like, okay, Super Bowl, cross off the list.
Correct.
Dude, listen, it's just like, look, hear me out. For Thanksgiving, we did these like Thanksgiving to go, and we like secured the bag, 13 grand in revenue. Food cost was really good. It really, really screwed us up because it was just me and the leadership team working on it. So I was butchering turkeys for days, but we just got such a good response, such a good feeling. And like, dude, it was perfect. And we're going to do it next year.
Of course.
So we tried to ramp up, do the same thing for Christmas. I spent thousands of dollars on prime rib. You know what I'm saying? Dog, we sold 16 orders. Nothing compared to the 65 for Thanksgiving. Correct. But it's like now this year we can stick and move and adjust, and we know, hey, I'm not going to dump 10 grand into Christmas Eve. Yeah. But I'm realizing more and more, like, you have to play with what people want. Like, we're going to open up Sunday brunch this season, and I know it's going to crush. I know it's going to do well. And Correct. It's like, now I will play devil's advocate. As a chef, I hate brunch, but I
hate brunch. I was going to say, I hate brunch. Absolutely
I
hate it.
Like, listen, if you're a chef and you love brunch, get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language, but like, brother, you're like, but I hate to say it, man. When you look at the brunch, P&L, and you're just like, I hate to say it, but it's breakfast on steroids. And the reality is people are willing to spend a lot more money without blinking. And, it doesn't take that much staff to execute. And so I want to like roll out the red carpet. Like, I want this to be VIP only. We sell 60 tickets, but it's like, you sit, it's prefixed. You sit down, you get a bread basket, you get the breakfast pastries, you get your choice of drink, you get your, you get your really Yeah, it's gonna be really good. But like we never would have known that if we wouldn't have went through this season and realized like, man, we could crush for Sunday brunch, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's just really cool, man. Like first year of working in a restaurant is just absolutely tough. I'm just super thankful to my partners for being so flexible and
Oh,
believing in me. But
yeah.
now we've come to the point where it's almost like, man, it's just like we got to take this thing to the next level. But also,
Yeah.
like, here's the thing. I think I had too many irons in the fire, Casey. What do you think?
I think you're a little
Dog,
gung ho about it. Just a little bit,
brother. Yeah, and I'm listen, man, I fell flat on my face and I realized like, I can't do all these things at once,
Correct.
And it's super important to anybody out there. Do yourself a favor. Don't do what I did. Do not over leverage yourself. Like I consider myself a good chef and a good leader.
Yeah.
And, but when you have too many irons in the fire and you need to make 5 businesses profitable, you'll lose all of them.
Yep.
And so what I recommend is focus on one thing, do it very well, get it in place, focus on getting it sustainable and get yourself out of the business. So you're working on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. I mean, you remember when I told you, hey, you need to get an employee, man, like you got to
Yeah.
do it. And it's
100%.
like, it's hard. It's hard because like I see that perspective too. And it's like, damn, I can't afford this labor if I'm only making X amount of dollars,
Correct.
And it's crazy to me, but like, I think everybody should be scrappy to start and keep it scrappy until you feel good enough where you have enough revenue, you can just make ends meet. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And,
I'm still forever scrappy, I think. Cause like the way my concept is just noodles. Like it's all prep work for me specifically, right?
Yeah.
I can execute a bowl 40 seconds. Not even playing with you. I can get that out there fast. But it's just all labor intensive in terms of I need weeks in advance to prep all this. So when I finally do transition out of the ghost kitchen into like a sit down as a kaya, like I want like 10 seats, not even. I only need 2 other employees.
Yeah.
Like that's it. All front of house, all back of house, no front of house. And we're just serving you bowls all day pretty much. So
yeah,
forever scrappy, in my opinion. I might get that branded on the wall somewhere.
yeah. Scrappy noodles.
Scrappy
Well,
noodles, yeah.
I mean, shoot, like you'll see, and I think the biggest thing is like you have a loyal following for your noodles,
Yeah.
and you're starting to build that. And like, listen, I tell people all the time, man, Rome wasn't built in a year. Like you like I think you're with the ramen stuff that you're doing. Like I think the biggest thing is like keep it. But did you ever consider like a food truck or a trailer?
So I did the numbers, right? So if I were to do trucks or like a smaller encapsulated vehicle, it would cost me just a little bit more than what I'm doing right now without having like the payoff of a guaranteed like revenue, I should say. And again, I wouldn't notice if I didn't try it. So that's like the other little small caveat of this. You have to try as much as you can, in my opinion, the first couple of years, if you can allow it with your money. That way you can see all of it and then plan accordingly. So this is my 3rd year now specifically. I know now. I tried it all the first 2 years. So the 3rd year, the plan for this one, it should be guaranteed success-ish, a little more so than the first 2 years.
Yeah. Because I try to tell people it's hard to try to use your crystal ball to see the future.
Correct.
It's impossible, man. It's just like, people are so unpredictable. And, with restaurants and quick service, fast service, I don't care what anybody says. It's super complex, you know? And if you don't love it, you're going to fucking hate it,
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just glad that I have a partner, my wife, Christina is, she's just been a godsend because she's seen me grow up as a chef. She's seen me grow up as a business owner. She's been through my whole social media journey and she respects the hustle, but it also gets to a point where like, Casey, I got 2 kids, man. I got 2 boys.
I know.
And listen, that's my baby mama, bro. Like she plays baby mama sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So it's just super important that like, I don't care what anybody says, man. Like, and this year, especially because I'm going to be 40, I only want to focus on things that set my soul on fire. Yeah. And I love the restaurant business. I love cooking. I love being a chef. I love all of it, but it's hard.
Yeah. It's tough.
I see these entrepreneurs out here. Oh yeah, I'm doing drop shipping. I'm doing this. I'm investing in real estate in this and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It's crazy because none of that shit excites me, None of it. Like, but I gotta admit, the younger generation, they're getting smart.
There.
And it's just like I fully believe, because I've done a lot. I've invested in a lot. I've invested in cryptocurrency, stocks, bonds, S&P 500, real estate, drop shipping, Amazon FBA. Like, dude, I've done it. I've dabbled in a little bit of everything. The one thing that I will say that I'm behind, that I actually would recommend, and this is just me kind of spitballing, is real estate. Like, I will stand by real estate the whole time because it's worth it. But the reality is like, real estate is it's not a get rich thing. It's not a get rich quick thing. Trust me, guys. I've spent a lot. It's a wealth building tool, I think. Yeah. And I think what's really important is I've never met a millionaire or a billionaire that doesn't have businesses, Yeah. And so it's just super important. Like, I will admit, it's like, I see the future, I see what's going on, but I really wish I would have learned this back in my early 20s, like, because then it's like you can take a lot more risk when you're younger. I'm sure you can agree.
Correct.
It's like, Casey, hey, listen, you're like, man, fuck, I wish I would have done this when I was 25.
Dude, I wish I had the balls to be like, yo, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it now. Take the leap.
Yeah, because I'm looking at my expenses. I was pulling out a shoebox, man. I had like, dude, back in like the early 2000s and the early, the late 2000s, bro, my expenses didn't exceed $1,400, dude, a month. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
responsibilities.
Like, dude, my mortgage was like $800. Like,
you're making good bank. I get it.
It's not like that. It's just like, man. Yeah, it's like, I was a cook, and I was just like, I could have, like, my expenses didn't exceed $1,400 a month. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, bro, that's the time to take the risk. But also, I didn't have the mindset I have now,
Correct.
And so it's just, super, super important. But anyway, hey, I want to hear what y'all want to say in the comments. Please, if you want to hear some topics, you want to hear what we're talking about, and you want any advice, any questions, please. You're looking at two chefs with the utmost respect for the industry and the restaurant business. So feel free to comment below, hit us in the DMs. I promise Casey will answer them. I'm horrible at it. So
leave them down below, and then we'll get to you in the next episode. But yeah, this is we're releasing a podcast again,
rebound.
So every week it's going to drop. So hopefully you guys are ready for that.